us from
Bell X-1 was a rocket, not a jet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a layman when it comes to all this aviation stuff, but that's where I want to start. When you look back over your extraordinary aviation career, what was it about flying? Was it duty? Was it control? Was it the freedom it gave you? Was it fun?
Well, basically, I never saw an airplane till, on the ground till I got in the military in 1941 as an 18-year-old kid, and airplanes didn't mean an awful lot to me, but I was sort of a natural, and I understood mechanics real well, and I started flying and was at the right place at the right time. And I served in World War II. I might make a comment, the Queen looks very good. I met her when I was 20 years old in England flying Mustangs, and then I came home and got involved in research flying, and I pretty well lived the entire era of airplanes right into software and computer technology today that we use in our current F-15s, F-16s, and F-22 fighters.
Chuck, what was the first plane you ever saw?
Well, first airplane I ever saw and flew it was a PT-21, a little low-wing Ryan plane that I took my primary training in. In my first ride, I puked all over it.
And tell me, because I'm sure you never forget it, the first time you took off and you were in control. There was no guy in the jump seat. I mean,
yeah.
What was the feeling?
Well, the first time I soloed, it's kind of a scary feeling. You know, you're given control of the airplane. You're on your own, and then when you land, you feel pretty good because you hacked the program. So,
I'm fascinated to know. I mean, throughout your career, when you were flying jet fighters and the like, you were in control. Are you an easy flyer when you fly commercially, or when the engine pitch changes or there's a little bit of turbulence, are you like me? You suddenly clutch the seat and think, what's going on up front?
No, I probably understand a little better than you do, Steve. Basically, when I fly on commercial airlines, and I find that regardless of what country they belong to or what company, the guys are usually quite good, and there's not a dime's worth of difference between them. And I feel very comfortable in the airplanes. I get a lot of sleep and go upstairs and spend time with them talking about military stuff. They don't get exposed to high-tech stuff that we do, but they are utilizing, technology that we developed 8 or 10 years ago.
Chuck, talking about comfortable, I mentioned in introducing you that you weren't totally comfortable with the movie The Right Stuff. How much of The Right Stuff was the real stuff?
Well, basically, the way they portrayed the Air Force, you have to go back to Tom Wolfe. When he wrote the book, he did research on the original 7 astronauts, and what he found was 7 guys who had professional PR types to hype them out of shape who had done nothing. And whereas on the other hand, the Air Force guys at Edwards were doing research flying and many of them getting killed, and no one knew about them. And he saw this conflict, so he played it up. And the way they portrayed the Air Force in the movie The Right Stuff, I thought was quite good. The way they blew the NASA out a little bit out of shape, that's the way it goes.
When you look at the future of aviation worldwide these days, and you see the plans that are being drawn up for super domestic or super commercial carriers that carry up to 800 passengers and have got casinos and gyms, and I mean, are you comfortable with that sort of development? Is it getting out of hand?
No, I think you're a little optimistic. Those people, it's like colonizing the moon or Mars. They think, but they don't talk about the money. No, technology has given us the capability, to make it easy to fly airplanes. And when you start talking about 700 or 800 people in an airplane, I think you're a little bit over-aggressive. Basically, it'll be a long time before we move out beyond about 0.85 Mach number, which we're flying at now, because basically we can build an airplane that'll fly at 4 times the speed of sound and fly from New York to Tokyo at high speed. But basically, it's not economically feasible,
right.
And there's not enough money in the world to build one of them, and that's what you're faced with. That's like trying to get these big steamliners up on hydrofoils and go 100 miles an hour. It's not practical.
Hey, listen, I hear you've just passed your latest physical. I want to know what your secret is.
Well, I can't tell you on the air, Steve. No, I still fly a lot, and I still backpack in high Sierras, and hey, you got to watch what you eat. You got to take care of yourself.
Well,
don't catch nothing.
Keep doing it. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Well, thank you very much. Nice to be down here, Steve.
Thanks, Chuck. I think he must have time to do other things too. Although he wasn't letting on, was he?
I want him to stay around during the commercial break and tell us what his secret is.
He looks great.
He does look terrific. That
Yeah.
was Chuck Yeager in Melbourne. News and weather is next. Stay with us on Today.